Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our YouTube Live. This is our virtual interactive conference for April 25th. So that's what this is, side B. All right, I already did my piece. I already said all the things I needed to say. And so far, I only have one person that came on. So, we're going to do the best that we can to educate our listeners. I want to encourage more people to come on this platform. Get on camera and speak with me. We're just having a conversation. You don't have nothing to fear. Also, if you're camera shy, then just use an icon like Evangelist Vera. That's what she's using right now to represent who she is. I am going to ask her to talk a little bit about herself and about, her ministry and all that stuff. And then we're going to jump into everything. But this is the whole purpose of me creating this platform. I want to interact with people that's on my friends list. Again, I need you all to work with me. Help me get my revised book on that bestsellers list. Quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, 2nd edition. It's available in 2 forms. I'm only asking that you all get the ebook. The ebook is $9.99. You can download it to your smartphone. And I want you to read the whole book. Read the whole book. And then that's how you can decide if you want to be part of my Christian business or not. Those that disagree with the vision and plan, my advice to you is to delete me off your friends list. Do not come to no event with my name on it. That's where I stand on that. Because right now, we're in a critical time. Africa is going through a lot of changes. The continent needs to wake up. White supremacist financial elites are still there trying to continue to siphon your resources. And that's not right. That's not right at all. And the Europeans in the UN do not want to give you all your reparations for colonization. So you all need to stand together. And I recommend that you stand together with, I might not know how to pronounce the name, but I do the best I can. Nambia. Evangelist Vera, how do you pronounce that African country near South Africa? It starts with the N, N-A-M, Namibia?
Namibia.
Yes.
Namibia.
Namibia. I need all African.
Namibia. M.
Yes.
Namibia. Yeah.
Yes. I need all Africans that's listening to this right now, especially continental Africans. Get behind that African nation. Fight for reparations for colonizations for them. Work with them. Once they get, because Germany, it was the Germans that came there because they didn't ask the Germans to come there. These Europeans, they imposed themselves on Africa. So they came over there, and the Namibian people, they didn't want those people to colonize them. And what they did was they killed, I believe, 80% to 90% of the population. That's why a lot of them are wiped out.
Oh my God.
And so, yes, but they did fight back. So that was a good thing, but they couldn't, all they had was spears. The Europeans had guns.
Yeah.
So that's how come they was able to slaughter them. So you all need to get behind them. So Ghana, it was a good thing. Yes, you went to the UN talking about the transatlantic slave trade, but you was talking about reparations. So that was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
You need to focus on the continent, because you all are there. It was my ancestors that was victims of the transatlantic slave trade. So we over here in America, we're fighting for reparations for descendants of American slaves. Those that was in the Caribbeans, they have CARICOM to fight for them for their reparations. So, and also in South in Brazil, they're going to have to get reparations from um, Spain, from uh, I think it starts with a P. So
Barry,
whatever language that they
Spain.
speak, because they don't speak Spanish, they speak another language. So, but anyhow, bottom line for Brazil, they're going to have to get it from those persons, those people, that country. I believe it's called Peru. Portuguese,
Sorry?
yes, they speak
Okay,
Portuguese, and
Portuguese.
yes, that's what they
Portuguese.
speak. So anyway, that's what Brazil, they have to fight for reparations from Peru, from that country, over there in Spain.
Okay.
So anyway, before I get into what I want to talk about, I'm going to teach my listeners how to navigate on my Medium uh, page, because that's where I want you all to subscribe to me over there, and that's where I post my speeches and everything. And so that's what we're going to do today. And you know, we're going to just do the best that we can. So without further delay, Evangelist Vera, I want you to tell my listeners a little bit about yourself, because I'm grateful for you sacrificing your time. So go ahead and please tell my listeners a little bit about yourself and about your ministry and how they can find you on Facebook. Go ahead, please.
It's all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes.
I'm so glad you brought me to your program. My name is Evangelist Vera Onyinyechuku Oris from Imo State, Southern East Nigeria. My ministry is Truth and Light of God Assembly. We are situated in Imo State. I also have a running foundation, the Visionary Gift COIAM Foundation, where we take care of persons, less privileged persons with disabilities. We have the vulnerables, and we are calling out for good people of the whole world, people that care for persons with disability. We are calling on you people to come into the foundation so that we can be able to do the good work we are doing in the life of the less privileged persons with disabilities. What we do in the ministry is for help. We give hope to the hopeless. Truth and Light of God Assembly, vetted gift visionary CEO I am foundation. That is what I do and who I am. Thank you.
All right. Now tell my listeners how they can find you on Facebook, please.
Is that right? You can get me on Facebook, Evangelist Vera Oris on Facebook, Evangelist Vera Oris on Instagram, Evangelist V on X. My YouTube is yet to be set up. On TikTok, Evangelist Vera too. Thank you.
All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say that those of you who are, I would say, artists. So I would say black artists, African artists, such as authors, poets, musicians, and also entrepreneurs. If you're on my friends list on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that way you can promote your products and services to my listeners from the global community. Again, I share my platform with everyone that's on my friends list because I'm not just on here trying to sell a book. Again, I'm on here to recruit brave and smart people that's going to help me run this, my Christian business, so that way I can turn it over to my advisory board or resource team and bring the business over to the African continent. But when I come to Africa, I want to make sure that I bring economic tangibles in the forms of job creation. And that's going to start in South Africa. And again, that's going to be for credibility because ain't nothing on over here. What I do is no scams at all. I don't fool with that type of foolishness at all. And in my business, there will be no corruption at all. And that's what I stand on. And those that's not interested in being those that's not interested in being a part of us, again, we'll pray for them. We will show them tough love and we will keep it moving. That's how it is. I've been reaching out to Black Americans for the past 34 years. And I'm still on first base, and that's unacceptable. And this is how come I created my platform to beat the drum loud and clear and broadcast my vision and plan to like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago. And also I'm reaching out to African immigrants within the United States of America from 10 African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. If you're here in the United States of America, I need your help. All I want you to do for me is to purchase my ebook, and it's available on Amazon. I'm going to provide the link in the comment section below this video podcast when I'm done with this my presentation. So that way you can find the links to all the stuff that I do. I'm also going to provide the links to our crowdfunding pages, which is going to be on our GoFundMe page, our Buy Me a Coffee page, and our PayPal Giving Fund page. So to give people options. But that's how we're going to measure up about progress, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I'm reaching out to African immigrants from the 10 African nations in order to help speed up this process. Because I don't want to be doing this another 34 years. I have something positive to offer. But we're going to have to get it built here in America, specifically Chicago, for credibility. And those that, like I say, refuse to work with us, we're not going to do business with them. That's just how it is. So I'm going to share my screen with you all because I want you to know how to navigate on my Medium page. That's very important. So bear with me.
Yeah, I'm here.
Here's my Medium page right here. So and I want Bless, if you don't mind, I need you to write it down, please. So that would be you could do a Google search, but basically just write in Manuel Online. That's all one word. MANWELL online .medium.
Sorry. Come again.
I need you to write, see on the screen. This is the cursor right here. So I want you to write down, this is my Medium page. This is where I post all of my speeches. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen, if you're serious about doing business with me. So write this down, Bless. It's called Manuel.
Yeah.
I can spell it out if you want me to. Do you want me to spell it out for you?
Please.
Spell it out.
All right. M A
M.
N W E L L. Then the word online. ONLINE. Then a dot. Medium. Medium. M EDIUM. Medium.
Yeah.
MEDIUM.com. So I recommend what you would do is that, just go to Google. You can do it that way. Put in that, and then my stuff is gonna pop up. So with that being said, I would say make sure you click on where it says follow. So you can follow right here. I got the cursor. So follow me on here, please, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see on the screen, I have right here, it's pinned. So that means this is the top. Every time I do my speeches, I always write out my speeches because I want to stay focused on what I'm saying so I don't just be rambling off and all that stuff. And I provide receipts. So I show my sources at the end of my speeches. So anyhow, to make things, kind of easier for you, I would recommend that you would click on here where it says about. So you click on that where it says about. Then, you read, my bio. Just letting you know who I am and all that kind of good stuff. And then, near the end, right here, this is my credibility right here. So this means this is my, these are my receipts. This is where you can get my book right here on Amazon. And I'm asking my followers to please subscribe to my Amazon author page. Right here. Well, I just want to mention this too. Now, before you become a GRCAM member, you purchase the book. So, Evangelist Vera, in your case, since you're already a member of my African group, GRCAM of Africa, you don't have to worry about buying my book. The reason why, the reason why, woman of God, is because I understand your plight. You are living from you're living from hand to mouth. It's not your fault, but that's okay.
Thank you so much for that.
But woman of God, I need you to help put me on blast. That means sharing this information with all your friends on Facebook. Same thing with your son. Bless, make sure you share this with your friends, please, because I want to do business with Africa, especially Africans in Nigeria. But I want Nigerians that's here in America to step up and work with me here. So that's going to be part of my credibility. That's why I'm reaching out to African immigrants from 10 African nations. I'm not on here playing games. I want to get this thing moving.
Okay.
This is a real business.
Yes,
but we have to be on one accord, and this is something that we're going to build. Black Americans Black Americans that identify as descendants of American slaves / freedmen, this business is for them. That's who Jesus / Joshua placed in my heart to help. I came from the Black ghettos, basically. And so the low-income Black community needs help. It's being neglected by our so-called Black leaders. because they're in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. And that's not cool at all. However, I understand because of the slave mentality that a lot of them don't understand what's going on. They continue to vote for these black politicians that don't have their best interests, and that's not a good thing at all. And so I'm doing the best that I can within, because I'm on a shoestring budget. Again, all I have is my revised book, my virtual store, and this platform. And that's how come I'm trying to do this film project, because I want the whole black world to know my story. And I want to make sure the whole black world knows that we're not going to, in my Christian business, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, we're going to raise the bar in this business. We're going to separate ourselves from con artists, hardened criminals, degenerates, pedophiles, off-code Negroes, urban terrorists. We don't want those type of people in this business.
All right.
So those are that's the enemy within. So we want to make sure we keep those people a distance away from us. And I want, and through my Christian business, yes. And through my Christian business, I want to make sure we build a bridge with the African immigrant community. Because it was my ancestors that fought and died during the civil rights era to help allow African immigrants, Afro-Caribbeans, and other non-white immigrants to come to the United States of America. But however, these crooked politicians, they are practicing benign and neglect, but basically all that means in layman terms is that they want to overlook us, Black American, because of this slave mentality, because we don't work together and all that kind of stuff like that. So we're very dysfunctional. So over here, we want to heal. Black Americans is going to heal from the slave mentality. African immigrants is going to heal from their colonized mindsets. We're going to learn how to do business together. We're going to learn how to respect each other's culture. And we're going to replicate this business on the African continent, but we're going to get it started here in America first, and specifically in Chicago. My revised book is the foundation of my Christian business, and that's what we stand on. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I want people to read my story, purchase my book. And, those that agree, I want you to make yourself known to me. Don't wait until I die. Work with me while I am alive. Yes, work with me while I am alive.
Yes.
I don't want to be doing this another 34 years.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I'm not preaching. I'm just being authentic and keeping it real. And I'm not running. Hey, I ain't running for public office, sir. We're building this thing from the mud. That means we're going to own this business, but it's only going to be geared toward GRCAM members, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement members. I'm here to recruit brave and smart, like-minded Black Americans, brave and smart, like-minded African immigrants. Here in America first, we want to get it popping so we can bring it over to the African continent, so that way we can do international trade with our brothers and sisters on the continents. Ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I want you to look at this, what I'm showing you. Now, I'm not going to click on the actual link because you're not going to see it and it's not going to act right. But at least I'm trying to show you, trying to guide you how to use my Medium page. So this is the GoFundMe. But that's geared toward, the film project. So the first step is to read the book. And if you agree, make arrangements with me to get on this platform so we can talk about it if you don't understand stuff in the book. So we can recruit people to help get the process to move faster. Okay, and now the next one is our PayPal Giving Fund page. And so this is geared toward people, I would say, that's United States citizens. So if you become a member and stuff like that, I recommend that you use that because you can use it as a tax write-off because this is a legitimate 501c3 faith-based community advocacy organization. Now this is GRCAM my virtual store right here. So this is where you can buy items and stuff from there. And right here, this is buy me a coffee. So you can use that if you want to donate. I mean, I'm just saying. So those are the main things. I want to encourage people to please subscribe to my YouTube page. I would like to try to get at least I would say 500,000 subscribers. Now on LinkedIn alone, I have 12,000 followers. Yet my book is barely selling, and that is because a lot of people online just want to be seen. So that's how come I'm saying my business is going to be membership based. I'm only going to work with those that support me. That's just how it is. All right. So that's how you navigate. Let me see. So I'm gonna hit home, and so this is my actual speech that I did on, I would say that was Thursday night, and I posted that. So I always like to do my speeches ahead of time.
All right.
Then I would like to encourage, I do this. Like I say, I like to encourage my listeners, people that's serious, to be on my panel. Come on here so we can talk about the issues and stuff like that. Because I don't want to sit up here and just be doing all the talking. So I want us to interact with each other. Now, what's the benefit? Evangelist Vera, I'm gonna just put you on the spot since I got you on here and everything.
Okay.
You can ask me like, well, Emmanuel, well, what is the benefit of your Christian business to Nigeria? And that benefit will be that we will help improve, when I say we, my Christian business, which is, again, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago.
Okay.
That's my Christian business. Yeah. Now, the only thing is, I got to share this with you. We're going to South Africa first. That's where the Lord is leading me because South Africa has a similar history to Black Americans. They went through apartheid. We went through Jim Crow. It's the same thing. It's just a different name. That's white people imposing about where a Black person can live. They imposed that segregation on us. We didn't have no choice in the matter. Now, what's going on in South Africa? I mean, I'm sorry, you Evangelist Vera, you didn't get a chance to hear my speech that I gave, but I'm gonna just share this with you, and I'm almost done. Just bear with me. But yeah, what's going on is that just a moment.
All right.
Yeah, just a moment. Julius Malema has been charged, and he's been sentenced to 5 years in prison for shooting a firearm. And the reason why all that took place is because the white supremacist financial elites in South Africa, they came over to America and they was speaking to President Trump about playing like, there's a white genocide and all that stuff lying. So anyway, he has influence because he's the president of the United States. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is white supremacy in real time. Same thing with when they said at the UN with Ghana, trying to present about reparations and everything at the UN, some type of resolution. A majority of those European nations, they abstain from a vote. That means they didn't say a word. So they know that they owe Africa reparation for colonization. And America knows they owe Black Americans reparations for slavery here. But America, Israel, and Argentina, they said no. But this should be a wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen. You should not sit up here and say, oh, I'm not going to work with Emmanuel Barbie. You need Africa. I need you all to stand up. Help me get my revised book on that bestsellers list so that way I can hire Black people, African people, and others. It takes money. I can't hire nobody if I ain't making money.
Yeah.
So that's why you all have to put me on blast, share my information. Because there's people in Africa that has money too,
Yeah.
But most of all, encourage African immigrants that's from your African nation in America to work with me. Encourage them to read my story. That way they can meet me in person. They'll know that I'm real and I'm not on here just running off at the mouth, trying to make somebody, just trying to sell a book. We got to build this thing. And that's why it's GRCAM members. And in my Christian business, those that's going to be active members, I'm going to work it out with my lawyer that you will own 2% of the company. This business will be passed down to your family members if you're an active GRCAM member. I can't pass this business down to my family members because they're full of Willie Lynch. They will sell the business. And the reason why I want to get it popping here in America first is because at least we can do business with Black Americans. Myself, that's what I am. So you can do business with Black America. And I want to personally turn the business over and come to the African continent to get the thing moving faster. So we're going to get it popping first in South Africa, but then I'm going to hit East Africa. This is what the Lord placed in my heart to do. So I'm going to do it that way. We're going to hit, like I say, after South Africa, we get it established. Then we're going to go to Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda. Then I'm going to go over to West Africa. I'm going to say Liberia, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Ghana. But Black Americans that's GRCAM members, what we want is to make sure that in exchange for our talents and skills to help improve the African economy, we want dual citizenship and land. Just like the Israel, Jewish people with Israel, they have that. Because it's unfortunate that a lot of African nations, are not opening up a red carpet for us. Yes, they say there's a year of return in Ghana, but that was just for marketing. Because they had I spoke with people from America that's relocated to Ghana, but they still, it's a lot of paperwork. So, and I don't want continental Africans to look at Black Americans, especially through GRCAI. Don't look at us as foreigners. You look at us as displaced Africans because we did not volunteer to be slaves to the white man. So and in my Christian business, especially starting in South Africa, descendants of American slaves / freedmen would be equal to the black South Africans, black native South Africans in this business. And like I say, we want to replicate it on the African continents, from South Africa to the rest of the 10 African nations, and hopefully throughout Sahara Africa. So beyond just those 10, but at least this is what I want to do in my lifetime. This is what I want to be remembered for. I want to contribute to Africa's rising. Yes, I'm going through a lot of disrespect from Black Americans here in my own city, but again, that's due to that slave mentality. But once I start making money, once I start making an impact in the low-income Black community, then everybody's going to want to be part of this business. But ain't nothing changing on my end. Ain't nothing changing. We're going to raise the bar. I require people to submit their thumbprint to be placed in our database, sign a community pledge, and again, we want to. There will be consequences for anyone that's going to try to undermine us, and they are going to try to do that because you got a lot of like I say, Black people that's in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites, and their goal is to keep Africans or African people and Black people at the bottom. So those are sellouts, and we ain't gonna have no sellouts up in this business at all. Evangelist Vera, do you have or Bless? Do either of you two have any questions for me?
No.
Why? Why you ain't got no questions?
No reason.
Evangelist Vera, do you have any questions for me?
You already answered. You want the benefits of us, of Nigerians, of our Africans.
Oh yes.
Working.
Yes, the benefit of, like I say, we're gonna bring our talents and skills. Descendants of American slaves / freedmen, we will bring our talents and skills to not just Nigeria, but we'll bring it to the whole 10 African nations in exchange. In exchange for, we want dual citizenship and we want land.
Sorry?
Because we want land. Property. Yes. Because we don't want to, I'm just saying that's my way of helping my people. My people, so that way we don't have to sit up here and be treated like third and fourth class citizen in a country that we built. We don't have to sit up here and keep going through that type of foolishness. So that's what we're going to do. We'll bring our talents and skills to the African nations in exchange for dual citizenship and land.
Okay.
Now, I'm almost finished too. I do want to say this too with South Africa. This is what I was stated, on Thursday. And I tried to encourage South Africans when they had their last election to vote for Julius Malema to be president. But the ones I spoke with, from South Africa, they told me that they didn't want to vote for Julius Malema because he wants open borders, and also because they told me that a lot of the people, the EFF is uneducated and they're not rooted, in politics. And I beg to differ. But now, I mean, they voted for the ANC, which for 30 years, they've been in power, and it's still inequality. So now, the white supremacist financial elites get rid of Julius Malema from being president, And unfortunately, what I hate to see right now in what's going on in South Africa is that a lot of South Africans are fighting against Nigerians, fighting against Ghanaians, using violence. But they don't do that same, they don't have that same smoke against those white supremacist financial elites that still holds 80% of the land.
No,
That still
don't
holds.
mind that.
They still hold the economic power. And Julius Malema was trying to solve that, but South Africans didn't want to vote for the man. So that's not good at all. But again, that's why I'm trying to go there. I want to try to bring some peace with our people.
Okay.
Yes. So this stuff is not easy. This is some difficult stuff. Oh yeah, I do want to mention this to my listeners that might not know who I am, or this might be your first time hearing this stuff. In my Jesus/Joshua called me to build the best Black Christian business within the United States of America, and that would be the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, with the help of GRCAM members. I can't do it all by myself. That's why I need my members to help work with me to make it a reality. That's why it's important that if you're serious about joining my Christian business, purchase my book. And right there, you can interact with me. I provide my email, my business email in the book, so you can talk to me directly. But bottom line, let's get this thing popping. 34 years, ladies and gentlemen. And for 16 years, I've been paying for out of pocket for this business title, and I still don't have my advisory board. That's an insult. So basically, I'm just wasting money. I'm trying to, in my Christian business, we're going to have two sectors. We're going to have a nonprofit sector and a for-profit sector. The for-profit sector, that's where I'm going to make my bread and butter, because we're going to own and control our own community grocery store, community healthcare clinic, and community housing, because everybody needs food, healthcare, and shelter. And that's jobs right there in those business industries, in those industries alone. That's jobs right there for GRCAM members. And so, and then the for-profit business, we want to, here in America, we want to strengthen, I would say, Black Americans who identify as descendants of American slaves / freedmen. Now, the reason why I don't fool with the FBAs, because that's also part of our lineage, foundational Black Americans, is because a lot of them are real rude. All they want to do is sit online, and they want to start a diaspora war with, I would say, African immigrants and Afro Caribbeans. So they go back and forth. Over here, we ain't about that. So that's what I'm saying. We don't, and that's under a guy. His name is Tariq Nasheed. So that's how come I don't use that term. But yes, they are part of our lineage and all that stuff. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna be real. I believe it was off-code FBA brother. They kicked me. They got me kicked off of Substack because I was on there trying to, build up my platform over there as well. And some dude, he kept writing in my comment section. He wants to, say bad things about me and all that kind of stuff, saying that I'm a tether, and that's not true. I'm from the soil. We're from the same lineage. And plus, I'm trying to help the low-income Black community. So to me, that's very disrespectful. And I asked the guy if he wants to debate me, come on my platform and get on camera and debate me then. And then a few weeks later, all of a sudden I'm kicked off Substack. So that wasn't cool at all. And so anyway, I don't fool with those type of people. In my Christian business, like I say, Black Americans and African immigrants, we're going to build. We're not going to be sitting up here warring and fighting with each other. That's not happening. We're gonna the nonprofit portion. Like I say, we want to strengthen the Black family. We want to, based on our budget and sponsorship, help our I would say single Black mothers or single Black fathers with their utilities based on our budget and sponsorship. So we would, and also help them with their groceries on a monthly basis. Again, based on our budget and sponsorship. That's what the nonprofit portion. And it's going to have 9 main components: a social service component, number 2, a spiritual component, which is going to be optional for secular people. Number 3, a political component. We're going to teach our members and students the importance about politics, and we want to encourage our members to run for public office instead of voting for I would say Black politicians that's in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. That's what we want to do. Number 4, we're going to have an entrepreneur component. We're going to teach our members and students how to create their own nonprofit business and for-profit business. At least they'll have that skill. Number 5, we will have an entertainment component. So we want to be known for making Black empowerment films, something positive. And through the business, we will pay. I will pay. I would say our Black youth, our African youth, in terms of a stipend, that's still money. I'm going to put money in their pockets so that way they can feed their families. So anybody in their right mind should be like, oh, wow, I want to be a part of this. I want to work with this man. But no, I'm not getting that support. And that's okay. And again, this is why I created my platform. I'm here to recruit brave and smart, like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago, brave and smart, like-minded African immigrants across the United States. Make yourself known to me. Don't wait until I'm dead. Again, we're going to build this from the mud. We're not asking the white supremacist financial elite on this because first of all, they won't do it in the first place because this is getting Black people and African people on code. Number 6, we're going to have a Black grassroots media. Number 7, health and wellness component. 8, science and technology component. And 9, travel and tourism components. Ladies and gentlemen, and we want to get it started here in Chicago and replicate this thing on the African continent. So I'm going to turn it over to my advisory board or resource team, and I'm personally going to South Africa. But before I do that, I want to make sure I have some African immigrants from South Africa that's going to work with me to come there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to prove to African immigrants, I mean business, because I'm going to apply for dual citizenship. I'm going to set up the Christian business there, the kind of South Africa. That's what we're going to call it there. And we're going to shoot our second film, and that will be called African Liberator, Battle Against the Colonized Mindset. So Evangelist Vera, since you and other continental Africans that came on my platform when I was quote unquote small, I would give you and others an opportunity to audition for a role in my Christian African film.
Wow.
And I will compensate you for your time and talents. And that's
Thank you.
my promise. That's my promise to you all.
Thank you.
But work
Thank
with
you.
work with. But those that didn't want to come on my show, those that's in my social groups, like Light of the World Inspirational Group and Christian Spoken Word Network, and I would say GRCAM of Africa, GRCAM of Chicago, and other social site other groups that I have created. If you don't want to make the time to come on here or post my videos, leave a comment. That's what I ask. If you're not able to if you're not able to come in to participate because of time your time management, then leave a message, leave a comment.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking. But hey, if you don't want to do that stuff, I'm gonna make sure that we remain strangers for life. I'm not gonna. That's how it is. No, don't try to come around me when I blow up and start making money and stuff and talking about some congratulations. I don't want to hear that garbage. We strangers for life because you should have worked with me while you had time.
Time.
So I'm going to reward people that works with me, such as Sister Renee. Before I cut and run and go to Africa, I want to make sure that she's going to be well taken care of. She's been working with me for behind the scenes for the past 14 years.
Wow.
And so I want to make sure that in West Memphis, Arkansas, that we set up a local chapter for her.
Okay.
And hopefully, her family members and stuff like that would, help her run the business and all that stuff. I can't depend on my family members because they're full of Willie Lynch, but I can pass the business down to, like I say, GRCAM members, and that's what this is all about. GRCAM members. If this business is for you all and your immediate family.
Okay.
So again, the ball is in your court, ladies and gentlemen. Help me get my film project fully funded and made. Our goal is to raise $250,000. But right now, first purchase my book, read my story for yourself. Again, anybody that disagree with my vision and plan, delete me off your friends list. Do not come to no events with my name on it. And I stand on that. And that's real. I want the whole Black world to know my story. I've been trying to help my people here in America, specifically Black Chicagoans, for the past 34 years, and I'm still being taken as a joke. And ain't nothing funny about this. This is it's unacceptable. I don't want to die in America. I want to get the business started here for credibility, so that way I can bring it over to the African continent. Because there's a lot of high unemployment in South Africa. So I want to help contribute to providing jobs for Native Black South Africans and help them organize and help them change that negative energy towards other Africans and use that energy to go after the white supremacist financial elites, because they're the ones that put Native Black South Africans in apartheid. And we didn't ask those people to come to our continent. They imposed themselves. That's not right. Now, they ruled South Africa for a long time. Now, the Lord has allowed Black people to get some of their stuff back. At least they have political power, but they also need that economic power. That's what Julius Malema was trying to do for South Africans, but they didn't vote for the man. So South Africans, if you're listening, that's not, don't mess around and let those people get back into power, because the white supremacist financial elites is only 7% of the population. But yet, they control 80% of the land. That's not right. So don't let them people end up taking over South Africa. And also, I do want to mention this before I close. Africa, if we lose Africa, we lose everything. So that's why I want to come there. Again, I want to be part of Africa's rising. I'm not trying to come there to take over. That's a lie. That's what uneducated people would say. This is on business. This is so that you can feed your families. This is so we can get our continent back to the rightful owners. That's us. I would say melanated people. God gave it to us, not the Europeans. He gave Europe to the white man. Africa belongs to the black man. And that's what I'm fighting for. And my business is to fight. We want to compete against Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is just one-sided. Pan-African only benefits Africans that come over to the United States and Afro-Caribbeans that come to the United States. It doesn't benefit Black Americans. In GRCAM, Chicago, this is going to benefit descendants of American slaves, because we're going to do international trade with our brothers and sisters. And I want to make sure that, they benefit, as well as Africa. Africa is going to benefit from this business as well. So it's going to be reciprocal. And again, I thank you all for listening. Please join the grassroots community activist movement, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I call upon, I would say, Black content creators, and I call upon African content creators that have a large following. Let me come on your platform so I can promote my book and my film project. Again, I don't want to be doing this another 34 years. I'm standing on Black business. And I'm doing the best I can to, get the thing moved to the next level. Again, the white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my revised book. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying items from my virtual store. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from donating to my film project. That's a personal choice, ladies and gentlemen. And that's Willie Lynch in real time, and we're coming against that slave mentality. So help me God. With that being said,
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. With that being said, that's going to conclude our show for today. And thank you all for listening. Evangelist Vera, do you want to say anything before we go?
I just want to say amen to your last prayer.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
this is going to conclude our show for Yes, this is going to conclude our show for today. Peace and blessings.
Peace.